Hello, my name is Craig. Welcome back to the three people who watch all my videos, and welcome to anyone else who has randomly found their way to episode 21 of the Spooky Guitar build. You're also welcome to stay. Today we're going to have a look at the logo on the guitar and prepping the guitar for the painting. I just draw out the logo in pencil first, then go over it with this Dremel engraver. That's what we have. I then paint that before I do anything else. And give this a few coats, let it dry in between. The old scar. So I'd lost that. That's from a crocodile. Back in a past life, I used to wrestle crocodiles. And one day when I was finishing wrestling one of them, I was letting it go. It swung around and just one tooth went up the side of my arm. Just missed grabbing onto it. Could have lost an arm that day. Luckily I didn't, otherwise I wouldn't be playing guitar as much. So it's not too bad. Now what we need to do is just give it a little bit of a sand. A whole lot better. Just going to use some 120 now with one of these. They're slightly bendable. And I want the on the top. Slightly bendable so that we can get around a nice curve without making it not a curve. .240. It's getting better now, that ebony or black material. I think it's probably sapele or something like that that's been dyed, but it's looking a little bit better now. It's not quite as lustrous as it was before. Now I'm going to do the edges around here with this soft sandpaper holder, whatever it's called. Rocket speed change system. Because we don't want to, or I don't want to have sharp edges around here. Yeah, I don't mind where the neck's going to fit over. That's alright. Keep that nice and sharp, but around the rest of it we'll smooth it off. Because if we don't smooth it off, it's just going to be easier to damage. This will be a sharp edge, and we don't particularly want that. Now you might ask why I don't put a arm bevel in there, up around this side here. The reason being is I'm 6'2" with long arms. When I go to hold this guitar, I'm going to be holding it down here, which is right at the back. I'm not going to be touching this part around there. I'm right at the back up here. So it's pointless for me. That's why I don't do bevels. Plus they add a little bit of weight, and they also take away some of your air volume inside your guitar, which is going to make it a little bit more trebly, take away a little bit of the bass. You don't want to do that on these little guitars. So there's a few reasons. Now the good thing about these ones here is, as you press down on the side, it goes up there. The maximum is going to be taken off the very sharpest edge, and a little bit less as you go further and further away will be taken off the rest of it. So it gives you that nice little curved, smooth sort of curve over there. So it works well for that. I've sanded this down to 400 grit. Mahogany on here, or sapele I think it is. And next step, you've got to really check though all over in different light to try and make sure that you have caught any little imperfections that need to be sanded back. And I think I've done that as well as I can. And as this is a porous wood, I don't know what that is, I think it's mahogany as well. It's been dyed, but it's also porous. I'm going to use a pore filler for this, and the pore filler I use is Aquacoat. Seems to be pretty safe compared to a lot of other things, and it does a really good job if you do it properly. So I'll just mask this off now. This part, the top, we don't have to do it because Blackheart sassafras is it's a non-porous wood, which is another good thing about it. Very easy to finish, so I don't need to fill this with Aquacoat or porous filler. It's always a big problem right on the end there. When you get this end grain, you can never quite get it right. Down here as well will be a little bit of that. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's a bit of luck of the draw, whether it looks not too bad or not. So when putting on this painter's tape, I put a little bit over the sides, and we'll clean that up in a minute, but I start off a little bit larger. Just use a stick as I'm going down, just trying to make sure that I don't leave too much of a gap. So when we're spraying it with nitro, we want as little as possible to go in. It's not really going to hurt it because we can get rid of the nitro later on, but just saves a little bit of time doing it this way. Get some sandpaper. On the edge. And hopefully just peel it off. And we've got a pretty reasonable seal along there, which is hopefully going to keep our fretboard reasonably free of any paint. Alright, we've got our masking tape over it. Doesn't matter if it goes a little bit over here, you might be able to see that there's a little bit of wood showing. That's alright, it's easy to get lacquer off the wood. It is much harder to put lacquer back on. Now all I do with this aqua coat, get a bit of paper towel, and just rub this in. Not particularly worried about the ebony. So ebony is not porous. Once we've done that, we'll let it dry. Doesn't take very long. You'll probably do it in about 10 minutes, but I'll leave it a little bit longer. Okay, after it's dried, give it a bit of a sanding. Now most of this is pretty good. I can see virtually no pores in the light. There are possibly a few there, but it's more so up here, this black stuff, whatever it is. It's pretty porous, although yeah, it still needs another coat, so I'll give the whole thing another coat of aqua coat, and we'll see how we stand there then. So I'll let that dry and then sand it off to about 400 grit, and it'll be ready to paint. Thanks for watching. See you next time.